So I'm pulling the Dana 300 out of this Jeep today. I'm gonna go through it, reseal it. It's working fine, it's just leaking everywhere. So I'm gonna pull it out, tear it apart, wire brush the case, paint the case, and then put it together probably tomorrow. It might be Monday, but I might do yard work tomorrow. Kind of a long history with this Jeep. This used to be my high school gym coach, his Jeep. His name was Dan Doom. It's his boys' Jeep now, and when I say boys, they're older than I am. But I built this shackle reversal kit on this thing like probably 20 years ago. This side plate's a little bit different because the steering box bolts turned and somebody had cut an access hole in there, so a little different side to side. But I made that shackle reversal kit from scratch, welded the bushing kit on and everything, and I did a couple other things. Like this has an SR4 tranny, which I hate those trannies, but they have like 2 fingers on the shift, on the bottom of the shifter, transmission shifter, and they had little plastic guides on them, and they always wear the guides out and then people keep shifting them, and it breaks one of the arms off. So I drew up on a CAD program a pattern for that bottom that's all billet, and machined it, welded it on here, and it's still on here today. And I did that probably 20 years ago. So here's the shackle reversal on this side. So, and it turned out pretty good. I mean, I was a kid when I built this shit. So it's got a mountain off-road steering relocation bracket, steering box relocation bracket. And I think I sold him a new seat 20 years ago. Just a bunch of stuff I did to this thing. But pretty cool old Jeep. Happy to see it back in the shop. So I got the Dana 300 all pulled. I'm gonna take this thing apart, degrease everything, wire brush the case and the housings, and then paint it all up, put it back together, reseal it, change the bearings. It'll look like brand new. Actually, it'll look better than new. And the only other things I found on this Jeep that were kind of troubling: front drive shaft shot. I'm gonna see if the customer wants me to order one. It's really doesn't have enough travel anyway, because this Jeep's shackle reversal, and that's just a standard CJ drive shaft. So these travel a lot farther than that in shackle reversal. So I'm gonna see if he wants me to order a shaft, get one ordered from Tom Woods, and the transmission mount's pretty oil soaked. But other than that, should go back together pretty good. When I was taking the transfer case apart, I found one of your hard shifting problems. The nut on the shifter was on incorrectly, causing a bind in the linkage. That's number one. Number two is this is the shifter fork, and it's missing the little pads. It's supposed to have plastic feet on it. Like this. No big problem. They come in the rebuild kit. One problem the transfer case does have is this is the front output, and this is supposed to be a press fit, this bearing, and I can slip it off. So this is going to need replaced. And then the rear output, the bearings were loose and it ate these shims. Not a big problem. I have more shims. So I got this Dana 300 all tore apart. Typically these Dana 300s are pretty bulletproof. I don't see a whole lot of wear on them normally when I take them apart. They just need resealed. There's normally not a bunch of war or damaged things, but this one had a couple things going on. So number one was the front output gear. This bearing's supposed to be pressed on, and It's now a slip fit, so this has spun a bearing on the shaft up here, so I need to get a new shaft. Bearings were loose on the rear output and ate the rear shims. Not a big deal, have those. Rear output gear has some weird wear on it, and one of the sliders, there's wear on one of the sliders, and then the customer was having problems shifting it, and two of the little plastic guides were missing, so that would cause you to have to shift it farther than you actually needed to get it into gear. So I'm gonna see if I can track down some of this stuff. I'll get this all cleaned up and back together.